and it's like he just kind of died, actually, to roaches. Alright, well, let's do this then. To the top left-hand side, our Blue Zerg player wins one map, and he guarantees himself going through this group. This is true. And to the bottom right, our Red Terran player, souL. Very important for him to win because he can still guarantee himself. He can even fight for third place in this group if he can force a tiebreaker here, potentially. So he needs to win 2-0 for that as we get this going. 2 barracks building on the far left-hand side. Well, let's talk a bit about Winter's Gate, as it is going to be one of these maps with these inhibitor zones. But going to be using this to proxy over here. It's interesting because I guess it's not really a direction you want to scout in. The inhibitor zone is slowing the kind of overloads going directly to the natural 2. So inhibitor zones around the center makes this very short pathway in the middle very a little bit longer to travel. It means that this space here, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, and it'll be interesting to see TVZ if we ever get there into the later stages on this map. It'd be interesting to see like what happens here, like tanks here, and an inhibitor zone feels very powerful for the Terran to just set up camp and just be like, cool, I'm just going to consistently hit a third base. But then taking the third base down here, we saw that yesterday from souL, and that was very difficult to defend. So that's pretty really interesting as we see the triple racks from souL. Marines building up, but already, I mean, this was pool first from True, and now into the Roach Robin, so he's continuing to use this Roach build here. And as we get this going, a couple of lingers coming over, and the SCVs and Marines starting to press forward, so, well, souL's going to realize it's a pool first, and that's going to make this funky. We'll try and get the bunker up nonetheless, though. Why are these games best of 2s? Because it's a round-robin group. And it allows us to cast all of the games that happen, with still keeping the broadcast of reasonable length. And it lets us know exactly how many maps we're going to see each day. Lings go down, and this bunker will come up. souL will be able to get a cancel on that hatchery. True will invest into a lag here. Roach is on the way up, so shouldn't allow souL to push any further up at this point. As we do just see a few Marines jumping back into that bunker. So back into the bunker here is again the lag coming in for the moment. Maybe just a Nidus network from True. That way just goes into Roach speed and gets those Roaches the ability to counterattack very quickly and very easily. So we'll build a bunker over here. He's messed up this wall. I don't know what's going on. He's misplaced the depot. So because of that, he's going to build the bunker a little bit further back as well. He's going to hold this bunker at the front here with a few Marines inside. Has to be careful though. He is rallying new Marines back home. Builds a tech lab on this barracks. Wonder if we're going to see some Marauders. This bunker just sat here is a little bit interesting, actually, as we see those Roaches, the Ravager from True, set up and ready to fight. With Tech Lab building, so he's actually just going to start building Marauders here, so it's going to be seeing the SCV is wanting to do a little bit of repairing. There's the Nidus network we discussed the potential of. There's a lot of space in this main base, which you can't actually see at the moment as souL, so lots of Nidus potential. As the Roaches, the Ravagers, just trying to slowly break through this bunker. I think at some point souL has to look at this and be like, well, you don't have a hatchery. Like, why aren't you trying a little bit harder to break through the bunker here? Marine's going to realize something's up and start backing away. Salvages the bunker, so get some minerals back for it. As well, Marines actually come into position as the Nidus starts, but they're not going to be able to kill it. There's one bunker in the main base. These are units over here out of position, but they can actually go and attack. Then we might see units having to traverse through the bunker this way and that way to get back home. That's me, apologies. And this is going to make this... I'm sneezing again. This is going to make this very interesting. As the Roaches and Ravagers going for a few SCVs. souL going to be pressing up towards the high ground here as we see supply unit was in the main. I mean, souL is going to lift up his main and go to the natural, so he forces these units to parry through the bunker. Or to build another Nidus. Units now transfer back home because of the Nidus power. Well, it's actually going to be a lot of units here just to chase down these Marines and Marauders, so that's a good defense. I mean, it does actually give souL, though, the chance to then kill off the Nidus network. So the Nidus network going down. He'll now build another one. Again, the Marine damage is not enough to kill a Nidus at the moment. This Nidus has way too much armor/health. It's just not going to happen. The Marines do barely anything. Like, 8 Marines here did nothing. Alright, well, units jumping back out here again. Still have these other units on the other side, and one Ravager again picked off already. Concussive Shell's in play. Couple units jumping back through home. I mean, these Ravagers keep on dropping. Roach is pressing in towards the main. Again, souL manning from the low ground at the moment, still producing of the 3 racks that are in the middle of the map. That's worth keeping in mind. His racks are all the way over here, so reinforcing is not exactly a very easily done sort of bit situation. Roach and Ravagers pop back through the knives and will start to pick their way through the bunker once again. Again, Marauders popping up. I mean, the constant pressure over here is kind of amusing to watch. It's pretty funky what's going on. Like, True's like, okay, I've defended, gets back over here and try and defend. Oh, Nidus goes down. So I'll have to build another Nidus Worm. This time he builds it in the natural. In fact, it was already on the way up. Is he really going to go back in the main? Is that actually what's going to happen? No, he's going to come down and fight this. The SCVs are going to stick around. Nope, they're going. They're off. What on earth is happening? Orbital flies back into the main base. Needs to be careful of this creep spread, though. Yeah, it gets rid of it. That's important, because otherwise it could start blocking structures in the CC from landing. So that was actually quite a nice deny on the creep. This Nice over here on the way up again as the souL retakes this main base. Oh my god. There you go, Roaches and Ravagers. This game's just funny, isn't it? As we see the SCV is going to be taken down. souL runs again. Looks like he's not going to lift up and go to the natural again just yet, though. He's going to lose some supply depots. I think he's brought his Marauders back home. Realized he's not doing enough over here. He's brought everything back home to just try and take one big fight. Another Nidus starts up. And those Roaches and Ravagers will just start to fight this. SCV's pulling in. He actually gets a couple of units out of the Nidus before he goes down. Extra units to help fight this. It's going to be too much. True will take the first game of this series. GG. That was, let's not leave my barracks on the map. He had to keep producing from the middle. Against the Nidus, you kind of need your structure at home, because you're not going to be able to apply pressure, and the Zerg units can be in both places whenever they need to be, right? So, it was a bit of a tough situation. But I liked souL's idea, because I feel against those Roaches, if it wasn't a Nidus, the Marauder push forwards could have done quite a lot, at least keep it on a one-base situation while building up at home. So that would be pretty different. Alright. So, bottom right hand side on Disco Bloodbath, our red Zerg player is souL. And the top left, our blue Zerg is True. Disco Bloodbath. We need some disco music every time this map comes on. Yep, but please dance the Overlord. Please dance the Overlord. No, imagine players actually trying to scout instead of dancing units on the dance floor. I love this area. Like, why don't we have a map that's covered entirely in this? Probably because people would get annoyed. This is really pretty though. I didn't even know this was an aesthetic that could be made in StarCraft, you know? It looks so cool. Oh, it's so sick. I love this map. Just for the way it looks, simply. Oh my god, True, stop playing Roach all-ins. It's ZvT. God damn it. I really want one. I feel like Disco Bloodbath, every game has a really short game. I really feel like it deserves a longer game. Ay. Alright, so Ling's heading down to the bottom right-hand side. Looking to see what they can get up to as the Reaper from souL heading across towards the upper left as well. So Reaper going to go and try and do a little bit. Now he does see that it's a pool first, so the Reaper does know about it. He's going to go and get these two Zerglings. There's other Zerglings coming around the right side though, so the Reaper now does turn back around, back over the dance floor, showing his moves. And he's going to come in towards the middle of the map. And the command center here, going to be finishing in a few moments, of course, but that's going to be delayed by the Zerglings arriving to slow that down. But not by too much, because the Reaper is here. Oh, the Lings get into the main. souL, bit of a mistake there. That's the Reaper's into the Lings into the main. It should have been walled off. Well, Factory can now drop on the reactor. One SCV down already. Needs to pull those other SCVs that are hurt back. Very good control out of souL. Very good micro after making the mistake of letting the Lings in. So that was nice, as here we go with the Roaches on the way. Command center now finished up on the low ground. As we are just going to be seeing the Reaper pressing forwards. A couple of Lings here as well. Going to start taking some damage, and this Reaper is going to deal a lot of damage to that first Zergling. This first Zergling goes down. Roach coming through, pushing that Reaper back as well. Reaper hops up to the high ground. Queen about to pop out of the main base, and again, a couple of Roaches going to morph into Ravagers already. Orbital command on the low ground is looking good as the Rax drops down onto that reactor. We've run a couple of Hellions bopping around the first roach or so. Bunker about to be done. Cyclone on the way up, as we've mentioned before. Definitely the better way to go about defending this usually. Cyclone has that mobility that the Siege Tank does not. Now the starport with the Tech Lab as well. Going to come up too. SCVs will be pulled to save the bunker. 2 Marines jump inside of it. Only a few SCVs going down. Of course, you can afford to take a few worker losses in this. See if we pull some SCVs to repair up the supply depot. 4 workers dead, at least 5, because this one should go down too. As we see the Cyclone still just hanging out in the on the high ground. And just locking on towards the Roach there and pushing it back a little bit. So that's the good thing about the Cyclone as well. You can chase the Roach Ravager away a little bit more than the Siege Tank can. So you can actually retake the natural a little bit faster and a little bit more easily. Well, the Banshee coming up as well is why True is probably thinking, okay, let's get away from this. You know, I'm kind of done for now. Because as the Banshee comes out, you're going to be guaranteed kills on Roaches and Ravagers. And that's the last thing you want to have happening here from True, of course. You don't want to be letting the Banshees do too much damage, right? So, no point losing these units if you can keep them alive, essentially. Roaches pulling all the way back up to the top left-hand side. The Cyclone here locks on and kills the Overlord. Another supply depot coming up to the top of this main. Let's just get set up into this. Well, True about 7 workers ahead, and I feel like souL obviously keeps himself alive, and we transition into a point now where souL, I think, is in an alright spot to play the game out. The Banshees should deal a little bit of damage usually. At least a couple of workers that will slow True down. They force spores and so on, so it keeps the worker counts within reach for souL, which I think is very important, because if you're, because otherwise it becomes a bit very problematic very quickly. So the Cyclone is still just patrolling around. A couple of Hellions are going to start heading across. The 2 Banshees together, so True might have been in a bit more trouble if those Banshees had gone across one at a time because it didn't have spores right away, but now 2 Banshees together can one-shot some drones. Remember that True's build also puts him on a later 3rd hatchery, so where that's delayed too. Creep Tumors will cancel. Good, keeps them alive. Hellions want to dive in. So the Banshees will get 1, 2, and 3 workers. Make that 4 already. And those Hellions, they get shut down pretty heavily by Roaches and Ravagers that are still in the natural. Banshees, there's a Spore Crawler here as well. We'll actually find a lone Queen over to this right-hand side. The Queen is kind of running like, get me out of here. Spore Crawler's going to burrow up, but I think the Queen dies too soon. Oh, the transfuse last second is good. And the Banshees have to pull away. So now with Liberator as well to try and set up here. So Liberator can continue this harassment. Again, I feel souL doing a good job of keeping True busy. 3rd CC is ready from souL, so you'll move that down probably just to the low ground here, right? High ground just seems a little bit out of the way to defend, especially for a Terran who wants to push forwards. Not like the Zerg who wants to expand across in this line. You know, that's very good for him. As the 1-kill Liberator will reposition yet again. Just continue to be annoying against those drones. Drones have to keep pulling. Spore Crawler has to keep dancing around to deal with it. And it's just that test of persistence. Like, who will give up dealing with this first? And right now, souL seems to be distracted elsewhere because this Liberator is going to go down. And there is the low ground 3rd base from souL. Again, it gives them that forward kind of pushing position that you can utilize. So that's definitely something to watch out for as the Overseer heading in towards the main. Cyclone locks onto that Overseer, and a couple of drones going down. Oh my god, because he forced the Spore Crawler to reposition with the Liberator, he's getting a ton of drone kills. Suddenly 9, 10, 11 workers. True loses 12 workers out of nowhere here. Another Overlord sat down to the bottom. So now you see Creep continue to press out onto the map. Although not very quickly. I mean, for 8 minutes in game, the Creep's very lackluster. Obviously, that's affected a bit by the build order choice originally from True. But it does give souL good opportunities to push forwards, and it's not a lot of Creep that he has to clean up here. 2 Medivacs load up and start pushing out into the middle of the map. And the Bane and Nest coming up in the main base. That's going to be done shortly. The Spire about halfway done as well. And again, +1 missile attack going to be finished soon. Roach speed going to be finished soon. Medivacs just starting to unload those Marines, getting ready to stim in towards the mineral line. Well, not the mineral line, but onto the creep spread, sorry. I mean, there is a mineral line here, but it doesn't have a hatchery on it. Missed all of the potential creep tumor kills we could have got there. That's a bit of a shame. No melee upgrades on the, or carapace upgrades either, by the way, so the Lings are actually going to be very bad against this Bioforce. It feels like, I mean, he's building Bane Speed, Mutalisks, with that Spire. It feels like True wants to play a, you know, Ling Bane game, so without carapace or melee upgrades, souL's going to have a hell of a chance to really get a lot done in the near future of this. Medevac's coming down to the bottom right-hand side. We get a few Lings, the Roaches, the Ravager just setting out into the middle. Splitting up, or setting up here nice and easily. The couple of Queens coming forwards, going to throw down some creep tumors. Some creep just dropping down, and again, this army of True wanting to press forwards. 2 Medevacs of souL going to be boosting out in towards the center. He's actually just going to join this up with a larger push, so souL getting ready to attack. The stage of the game when Mutas are about to pop up. There's no Banes on the map yet, so it feels like this should be a good fight for souL. He's fighting against basically no upgrades. Plus 1 missiles on the few Roaches and Ravagers, and that's about it. Scans now gets a couple of creep tumors here. And get hit by those siege tanks pretty hard as well. At least now there are some Banelings up, and they do have Bane Speed. That's the one thing True does have on time to deal with as attackers. Looking to defend this 4th base, has the rocks here, the little disco box, helping to stop the Terrans just having complete open space to attack into. Counter-attack from True. I mean, this is obviously what the you know, kind of the better decision when you're not really in a position to win the overall fight. I don't know what souL does. Does he pull back or does he just go for it? He's going to stem forwards. So he's actually just going to try and commit in. He sees that, or feels that he has enough here. Marine's currently chasing Mutas away. Only 6 SCVs lost so far. The Lings are actually pulling back as well. So obviously True's afraid of the fact that these units commit forwards here. Lings going to come in, surrounding the tank. Well, now it's Lings running into Marines, but again, they still don't have carapace. Medevacs will lift up and drop to the main. 21 workers down as the Mutalisks are starting to deal some good damage here. Mutas flying away through the bottom right-hand side. Dropping the main, going to see a few more Queens. Well, the Queen going down. The Zerglings in some trouble here as well, continuing to drop at the moment. A lot of Lings going down actually as we see the Marines moving over to the side, picking up into the Medevac. The Ravager Bar is not quite able to connect. Meters fly through and they'll be able to pick off 1 Medevac. Marine as well. The other Medevac going to be taking some damage, so some good damage being dealt as meters continue to come through into the center. True, 134 to the 118 supply. Still has the lead in overall supply, but supply does not tell the whole story of this game because he's also still playing Ling Bane with just now +1 melee start, and his +2 carapace is slow as well in comparison to the fact that souL has 2 upgrades completed. The work count is 60 apiece as well, which is generally very good for the Terran player because, well, the Zerg is generally trading less effectively with the army composition that we're seeing. Right now they're trading the same, and these meters will start to kill a few more SCVs, but that means the meters are not on the other side to defend. And with the upgrade advantage that souL has, I think there's a good possibility of getting something done here as the meters picking off SCVs, picking off Marines. souL going to start taking this fight. I mean, no creep spread as well, so you can just pull off a creep so easily. Tanks actually soaking up a lot of damage from some of these units here. Now taken down, but there's enough Marines to just stem forwards, and that 4th base of True is in some real trouble. I mean, the meters are still causing issues over on this side as well, and they continue to pick off so many Marines. Hatchery will fall. Again, more Brutals continue to go down, and just going to be seeing those Mutalisks continue to pick up the SCV kills right away. So, a lot of SCVs dropping down at the moment. 11, 12, 13 workers dropping. I think that's 16, 18. Crazy amount of damage at the moment as we're going to be seeing more drones being picked away at. 23 SCVs down. Just going to be seeing those Banelings rolling in, but not able to kill much. souL down by 40 supply. 25 of that is in workers, and he's still losing workers to these Mutalisks. Upgrades are finally catching up from True as well. These Mutalisks just continue to cause chaos. He has been set back on 3 bases though. That's the one benefit that souL has from that last few attacks. souL still has 4 bases of his own, albeit with less workers on them than the 3 work bases of True. He goes all the way back up the right side. Lings and Banes going to come down through the center. A hatchery going to drop from True as well. Off over to the side. Creep continue to spread forwards. Lings and Banes into the middle of the map. Marines on the top right with a couple of Medevacs hanging out also. Going to see a couple of supply depots getting picked off. So a couple of supply depots are going to be picked away at, and Again, Marines are sitting in front of the third base here. As True's going to attack through. Here we go. A lot of Ling Bane as the Marines are going to pull all the way back. What's he got over here to kind of rely on? Not a lot, apart from maybe just the choke point that he can start splitting Marines behind. Well, Bane start crashing through. Very good split so far. Continue to split away as the Banes keep rolling forwards. souL has a big counterattack about to hit across the map as well. We'll look at that in a moment. Right now, this entire mineral line is taking tons of damage. Here's the issue. These Marines, there's nothing to kill them off here. And you got to remember, souL still has this base on the left side, so by killing this base here, if he gets this base too, True will be down 2 bases again, potentially just still 3 from souL. 2 more SCVs going down, has to pull away from the Mutalisks, pushes up into the high ground there, more Lings going down, 28 workers dead, souL with 37 and army to 64. Feels like True is starting to get away with. There's a few Lings into this base now as well. Yeah, it doesn't look good at the moment as you see another Ling going down. Mutalisks continue to be pushed away. And souL doesn't really have much left at all, as his Mutalisks going to keep on picking their way through this Planetary Fortress here. And yeah, Planetary Fortress is going to go down. The Mutalisks from True coming down here as well. Wouldn't mind in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. souL out. Wouldn't mind. Well, he actually connects on the Mutalisks there. souL kind of going for like a last-ditch effort. 13 workers remaining as he attacks up in towards the other left side. Pushing straight in towards this hatchery. True on the other side, while Mutalisks still being annoying. They're going to start coming back home to deal with this. This hatchery will go down. So again, True is kind of limited to 2 bases now. Oh, Widowmine shots dealing with a lot of the Banes. Drops up into the main base as well. Bio still gathering together here. We're seeing those Mutalisks getting chased away. GG's. True will take a 2-0